San Francisco Dons head coach Chris Gerlufson is back on the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast. USF posted its sixth 20-win season in the last 7 years, and they went into the WCC tournament. But Khalil, Shabazz, Tyrell, Roberts, they were first team all West Coast Conference. They depart. This is the second consecutive year that USF has had two first team selections in the WCC. Coach, welcome back.
Thanks, Ken. Great to be here.
Oh, yeah. Shabazz and Roberts, they were your two leading scorers. They were stellar rebounders as well. So talk about the overall image that they presented you on and off the floor.
Yeah, I wish I could have coached both those guys for the next 20 years. Just the heart and soul of our program. Khalil, he'll go down as one of the best players to ever put on a USF jersey, and has a huge heart, huge competitive spirit. Both those guys were kind of the head of the snake for us, and undersized guards, but guards who played a lot bigger than what their actual size was. And both tremendous scorers, and we're going to be missing over 183s between the two of them. So a lot of production for us to replace, and there's no singular replacement for either one of those guys, but I'm excited about the group that we put together. I think we have some guys ready to step in and fill some of that void left by those two guys.
Hey, you were listed as the offensive coordinator when you were on Eran Ganot's staff at Hawaii. Talk about how you went about that effort.
Yeah, actually, it kind of started prior to that when I went to the University of San Diego with Lamont Smith. He gave me the opportunity to come in and kind of build the offense from the ground floor. Lamont wanted to focus on the defense, and he kind of allowed me to experiment and build something from the ground floor up. And just really, thankful and humbled that he trusted me to do that. But that was a really big kind of few years in my basketball journey. I think I grew a lot having that opportunity, and it was a lot of work, but it was fun, and I took a great deal of pride in building the offense and really owning that side of the ball. And luckily I've been able to continue to keep that role, whether it was at Hawaii or when I came here with Todd 3 years ago. He gave me the opportunity to run the offense, and it's been fun, and it's been a challenge, but it's definitely something that I take a great deal of pride in.
Coach, generally, and of course, I love the inside of the game, the technique, etc. Do you add plays for players, or is that more based on matchups about what plays we'll see coming forward from you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think just our overall philosophy from an offensive standpoint is it's not so much about plays. We want to teach our guys how to play, and we're a lot of read and react. We have starts, but once the ball hits a specific spot on the floor, it's read and react. And we want to teach our guys to take what the defense gives them. There's a lot of freedom in how we play, and I think our players in turn enjoy playing in the system that we have, because they do have a lot of freedom, and we don't want to constrict and put guys games into boxes. If you look at the highest level, the NBA or international pro, it's almost turned into positionless basketball, and that's how we kind of try to operate, and I think our guys really enjoy that.
As you look at your schedule per se, talk about how you study teams. How soon and how often do you try to take advantage if they're an up-and-coming matchup?
Yeah, I mean, part of our summer is spent, kind of really, putting all the teams that we may or may not play under a microscope, right? And trying to see what are good matchups for us. The analytics side is very big, in terms of what we do. We want to make sure, number one, that we're playing a schedule that is going to hopefully put us in a position to be a postseason team. That's part of it, but we want to play teams that challenge us and maybe are great markers and gauges. So when we get into the WCC conference, hopefully our non-conference schedule has really prepared us to perform at a high level in our conference play.
Now, Marcus Williams will be an interesting player for you this upcoming season. Is your leading scorer returning from a year ago, played in all 34 games. He shot 40.8% from three. What will he bring now as a leader?
Yeah, we're going to be counting on him a lot, and Marcus has, he's really turned the corner and grown up a lot since getting here. He spent time at Wyoming, he spent time at Texas A&M, and kind of the knock on Marcus was he wasn't a great shooter. And I'm just so happy that he kind of turned that corner last year and was over 40% from three. And he did a really good job of kind of meshing and not trying to do a whole lot early on. He figured out how to kind of coexist with Khalil and Ty Roberts. And so his next kind of step as a player, I think, is to go from being one of the guys to hopefully being the guy that we can really count on a night-to-night basis. I'm really excited about the year for him. I think he's going to continue to grow up as a player.
Coach, as you look at players who need to improve in certain areas, how have you and your staff worked on that through the summer?
Yeah, I mean, skill development and trying to take the summer and try to grow everyone's game. We take a great deal of pride in being a developmental program, and I think if you see some of the players who have played here and have come out of here, I hope people would say that they really got a lot better over the course of their time. So we're skill oriented in everything we do. If you can't shoot the ball, it's hard to play nowadays. And so we spend a great deal amount of time shooting the ball, but just really working on kind of the finer tuning guys' games over the course of the summer. I think the summer is a great time to make jumps, and I'm excited about some of the growth in some of our guys that we saw over the course of the summer.
Now, you had a transfer from USC and guard Malik Thomas. He was the California High School Boys Gatorade Player of the Year in 2020-21. I know he's a scorer, but talk a little bit about how he will fit into your rotation, maybe in other ways.
Yeah, he's a guy who he could never really crack the rotation at USC, got caught behind some guys, and he's a big, strong, physical, 6'4", 200 and probably 10 pounds right now. He's a different kind of guard than what we've had here. He's more of a power guard. But he's a guy who can really score the ball. The thing that I've been more impressed with him after having the chance to be around him all summer is he's got a great voice in terms of being a voice in the locker room. He's a guy who brings it every day. You don't ever have to worry about Malik in terms of being ready to go, and he's going to rub off the right way on some of the other guys on our team. So from a leadership standpoint, I think that's probably been the most impressive thing that I've seen out of him since being here.
Very good. Now talk about the important factors that a couple of your returning posts in Saba, Gigi Barea, and Josh Coonan bring into the middle.
Yeah, both those guys. Saba, unfortunately, is injured right now, but he's grown up a lot since coming over here from Georgia Tech. Sometimes big guys take a little bit longer to develop, and a lot of times they just need to play, and so he got some quality minutes last year, really improved as the year went on. Josh is a guy, kind of a Swiss Army knife for us, and a guy who I have a lot of trust and faith in. We spoke before we started the interview, but he's a guy who you may not always see it from a production standpoint, but he knows what we do inside and out as a program. And as a head coach, I take a great deal of kind of satisfaction and pride in being able to just kind of trust him on the floor. He's a guy who I have a great deal of respect and trust in. and he's going to be one of the major kind of voices for our program in the year ahead.
Last thing, Coach, as you went through the WCC for the first time, what were some differences schematically that you faced maybe being a head coach after you were an assistant, at 5 different Division I schools in 22 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think our league is unique. I say this all the time, but having coached on the East Coast and kind of been all over the place, I never really appreciated the quality of coaching in this league. And I think now it's as good as it's ever been. There are no nights off in our league. You have different styles of play from across the board. But the quality of coaching is elite. And I can't say that enough. It's like every game in this conference is a dogfight. There are no nights off. There are no easy games. And that's a testament to the coaching. It's a testament to the players. I think the quality of play in our league is really kind of ramped up over the last few years. And you're seeing players from multiple teams get drafted. It used to be Gonzaga or maybe St. Mary's peppered somebody in there. And now you're seeing players from multiple teams getting drafted and playing in the NBA. So I'm excited about where we can continue to go, not just at USF, but as a league as a whole.
Coach Chris Gerlufson out in one of my favorite cities. Of course, if it's in California, it's a favorite city of mine. The University of San Francisco, the Dons up on the hilltop. Coach, I appreciate your time and I wish you the best, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on, Ken.